Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. Hey, 49ers faithful, today we're diving into a story that's not just about a player or a simple roster move, but about the very fabric of the team's future. We're talking about an opportunity that's come knocking at the 49ers' door, an opportunity to upgrade the secondary, which, let's be honest, has been a topic of discussion among fans and analysts alike for quite some time now. And it's not just any opportunity, it's about one of the NFL's top cornerbacks, a two-time Pro Bowler who could potentially change the face of the Niners' secondary if they decide to go all in. But as always, it's not that simple, is it? Because in the NFL, opportunities are rarely straightforward, and there are always hurdles, questions, and strategic moves that shape the final decision. So here's the scoop. The Green Bay Packers, a team with a rich history and a solid defense, recently made a decision that sent shockwaves through the league. They've decided to part ways with Jaire Alexander, a cornerback who's not only talented but also a proven playmaker. This news was first reported by NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, and it immediately set off a chain reaction of rumors and speculations. Jaire Alexander, as many of you know, is a player who's been selected to the Pro Bowl twice, and he's considered one of the premier cornerbacks in the league today. His ability to shut down top receivers, combined with his agility and football IQ, makes him a highly coveted asset. But here's where it gets interesting for the 49ers, and for any team that has eyes on him. The thing is, Alexander's release opens a floodgate of interest from across the league. I mean, 31 other teams are likely to be interested in bringing him in, which is honestly no surprise. When you have a player of his caliber, teams will do everything they can to add him to their roster, especially in a division like the NFC West, where cornerback play can be the difference maker in critical games. The price tag? Well, that's where things get complicated. His market value is sure to skyrocket thanks to the demand. And that's a key point to keep in mind. The NFL is a league where supply and demand often dictate the cost, and a player like Alexander doesn't come cheap. So, if the 49ers are considering making a move, they're going to have to weigh whether it's worth the investment, both in terms of draft capital and salary cap space. Now, here's the twist. As much as this sounds like a perfect fit for San Francisco, the truth is, the team may have already missed the boat on acquiring Alexander. You see, the Niners front office, led by General Manager John Lynch, has been very vocal about their desire to upgrade the roster whenever possible, but only when the conditions are right. And the offseason moves they've made so far seem to suggest that their window for adding a veteran like Alexander might have closed. They've already made some significant changes to their secondary, which could limit their flexibility moving forward. For instance, the 49ers parted ways with Charvarius Ward this offseason, a move that left a noticeable gap on the outside. Ward was a solid starter, and his departure created a bit of a hole in the secondary that needed filling. The team's plan, however, is to move Diamador Lenoir, a player who's shown flashes of brilliance but is more naturally suited to a boundary corner role, out to the perimeter full-time. That shift is pretty telling. It indicates that the team believes in Lenoir's potential and wants to give him the primary responsibility there. At the same time, they're trusting second-year pro Renardo Green to step up and take on a larger role, possibly as the second boundary corner. Green showed promise last season, and with more reps, he could really develop into a reliable starter. In addition to that, the 49ers have a promising rookie in Upton Stout, a third-round pick who's generating buzz around training camp. The team seems to see him as a potential full-time nickel cornerback, a role that's become increasingly vital in today's NFL. Since the departure of K'Waun Williams, who held that position from 2017 to 2021, San Francisco has been searching for a reliable presence in the nickel spot. If Stout develops well, he could fill that role for years to come. So, the team's current roster construction suggests that they're betting on internal development rather than making a big splash for a veteran right now. And that's where the big question comes in. Would it be worth it for the 49ers to pursue Alexander now, considering their current roster construction and the investments they've already made? It's a tough call. While adding a player of Alexander's caliber would instantly bolster their secondary and give the team a serious edge in pass defense, it might also hinder the development of the younger players. That's a delicate balance. You want to compete now, especially with aspirations of another Super Bowl run, but you also need to develop talent for the future. The team has shown in the past that they're not afraid to make bold moves. Remember the trade for Christian McCaffrey? That was a clear message that they're all in on winning now. But whether they'll pivot again for a veteran cornerback depends on how the coaching staff and front office evaluate their current needs and the chemistry of the team. The NFL offseason is always a time of big decisions. Some teams prefer to wait until training camp to see how their roster shapes up, while others prefer to make moves early to shake up the league. The 49ers traditionally tend to be cautious but strategic, and Lynch's comments about upgrading the roster whenever the opportunity arises suggest they're always on the lookout. But in this case, the timing might not be right. The moves they've already made, coupled with the young talent they're grooming, imply that they're more inclined to develop from within rather than chase a veteran like Alexander at this stage. Now, let's talk a little about the team's overall outlook for this season. The 49ers are coming off a strong 2022 campaign, finishing with a 13-4 record and making a deep playoff run that fell just short of the Super Bowl. Their defense, especially the front seven, remains one of the league's best, with Nick Bosa leading the charge. The secondary has been a point of concern at times, but it's also been a work in progress, and that's why the potential addition of a veteran like Jaire Alexander would have been a game-changer. Imagine the possibilities with Alexander paired with Charvarius Ward, Lenoir, and Green. That would give the 49ers a formidable pass defense that could shut down even the most explosive offenses in the league. But as things stand, they might have to settle for the options they have now. The team's coaching staff, led by Kyle Shanahan, has always been innovative when it comes to scheming and scheme adjustments. They've shown a knack for maximizing the talent they have and finding ways to cover up deficiencies. Still, adding a player of Alexander's caliber would elevate their secondary to a different level altogether, giving opposing quarterbacks fewer opportunities and making life easier for Bosa and the rest of the front seven. Another interesting aspect to consider is how this situation reflects the broader strategies of NFL teams nowadays. The league has shifted towards a more player-centric approach, with teams valuing youth and development, but also recognizing the importance of proven veterans in key roles. For the 49ers, it's a balancing act. They want to keep their window open for Super Bowl contention, but they also need to develop their young players and build a sustainable, competitive roster. The decision on whether to pursue Alexander will likely come down to how confident they feel in their current secondary and how much they believe their young talent can step up in critical moments. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league where injuries happen, and depth is king. So even if the 49ers don't make a move for Alexander, they're still in a good position to contend. Their front seven is elite, and the offense, led by quarterback Brock Purdy and a talented core including George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey, remains one of the most dynamic in the league. Still, enhancing the secondary could be the final piece of the puzzle, a move that could push them over the top and help them finally claim that elusive sixth Super Bowl title. In conclusion, the potential release of Jaire Alexander presents a fascinating dilemma for the 49ers. It's a classic case of weighing immediate impact versus long-term development, of balancing veteran experience with the promise of youth. While the team's recent moves suggest they're leaning towards trusting their young players and internal growth, the allure of adding a player like Alexander is undeniable. It could be the difference maker in their quest for another Super Bowl appearance, but at what cost? Only time will tell if the 49ers decide to make a bold move or stick with their current plan. But one thing is for sure, the NFC West is shaping up to be even more competitive this season, and the 49ers will be right in the thick of it, always looking for that edge to get back to the top. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole situation? Do you think the team should go all in for Jaire Alexander, or do you believe they're better off trusting their young talent and developing from within? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the San Francisco 49ers. Remember, this is a team built on passion, on resilience, and on smart strategic moves. We're always looking to grow this community of true 49ers supporters, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, share this video with your fellow fans, and stay tuned because I'll be back very soon with even more updates, insights, and analysis on your favorite team. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Niners!